Meeting is being recorded. I'm glad I met you guys offline, be it Wilson or Balaji. I work with you guys on the startup companies and your journey so far. For everyone's benefit, I'll just give a maybe a quick couple of quick introduction about myself, maybe a brief 30 seconds. Overall, I have close to 2.5 decades of experience in the IT industry, guys, and I was fortunate to wear multiple roles throughout my journey. I started as a developer, and right now I'm wearing multiple hats. One, I'm a director and leading Indian operations for one of the MNC. Along with that, I'm also a leadership coach and business coach. As you are aware, I'm part of Afthonia mentorship group since 4 years. I'm glad to come across some of you as the companies where I get the opportunity to work and learn what you're doing and then support you in wherever I can. And also along with that, I started a company called Acharya for Life. The main purpose of the organization is to encourage knowledge sharing and want to bring back Guru Shishya Parampara. Whoever it is, right, they should not hesitate with respect to sharing their knowledge or even learning from someone. And the best part of it is the platform provides opportunity for free. For example, if any one of you guys or your known circle, if you want to teach something free, it can be professional career counseling or enterprise or leadership skills, whichever the topic, it can be academic, non-academic, it can be technical, non-technical. You can teach for free, and who are parties who are all involved in that, they can learn for free as well. That is more of a B2C, and B2B also we do have. So that's a brief about me and what I'm trying to do. And in that way, I want to just give back something to the society by providing technology for the people who wants to teach and providing technology support for the people who wants to learn. So that's in brief about me. And today's session, the primary session that we wanted to do is, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have started some time back and either completed MVP products, or you are in a growth path where you have completed proof of concept, the business is working, whatever the problem you're solving, it's working out. So now you are looking at the growth path. Okay, how I can grow? Can I grow 1x? Can I grow 5x? Can I grow 10x or 100x? So that is the path you guys are all in. And I'm sure you are also kind of working with various stakeholders, be it on a mentoring side or be it on a VC side of it. When you are focusing on the growth, when you are focusing on the business, when you are creating a vision of your organizations for the next 3 years, 5 years, there are a lot of aspects that has to be considered, out of which many might go right as you wanted, and some of things might not work well in terms of how you want it to be or what the stakeholders will expect. Say if you're working with a VCs or if you're working with a first round of funding, there are certain things that you need to showcase. Or when you are working with the clients, when you are looking at the scope and delivering the work of it, I'm sure a lot of guys will be pressed out of, I need to do fixed price delivery or time and material. When you have so many dynamics coming into the picture, always better we look at how we can do the project management. It's just not a project management. Overall, how I can ensure I'm creating the processes within the organization without adding extra burden or extra load for the team members. Once you set up a simple processes which can help you in terms of gaining the information that you need at a fingertips, and then that can help you in terms of sailing the conversation smoothly with all the stakeholders, be it your clients or be it your vendors or be it your VCs or be it your partners. So this is where what we felt was we can share some of the insights and to also demonstrate some of the tools that we have which can help you guys in terms of creating those processes and ensuring the organization is going with respect to process dependency rather than people dependency. So that is what we are trying to do it here. Again, while explaining the demo and giving the journey of it, right, I'm sure many of you would have come across the scenarios that we'll be talking about. As simple as kind of you defining a scope, and the scope creeps happening throughout the project for various reasons. It can be due to communication gaps, or it can be due to lack of coordination and integration between the teams that we are working on, or it can be availability of the resource, or it can be of skill issues, or it can be anything. I'm sure you would have definitely came across all these problems and challenges, even to build any of the proof of concepts or MVPs or any add new features or deliver to the clients. So what we are trying to do in this call is I want to make it a little interactive, and I want you guys to share any of the challenges that you went through, and then we can definitely showcase how the tools that we are trying to look at can help you in terms of overcoming those challenges. So I'll give a pause and see, are you good with the agenda, or you would like to cover anything else beyond what I said so far? Balaji, Wilson, Anita.
Yes, good enough, Ranjit.
Okay, Sahil, good. We will get you started
Yeah.
from there, and definitely we can have an incremental and we can have further sessions in terms of covering those additional topics if required.
Like I would like to add, see, here we have a lot of process. We are, as we all know, we have various services. We are in almost 60 plus services are there.
Yes,
All are very different.
yes,
So even though we have a process flow, and mainly due to the for main challenges, the one process is entirely different from the other thing.
yes.
So we cannot stick on to that process flow every time. So that is one challenge we are facing. Apart from that, earlier as a startup, we didn't have any process flow. But when the staff increases, we try to implement various process. But the people from the start who were in this, who were with us from the early stage, they are not willing to be in that process flow. That is
Understand,
also a
Anita.
challenge.
So, totally
That is
understand your
also,
challenge. Let's take a step by step. Once, first step is let's talk about some of the things that we can set up a process from a tools point of view and the workflow management point of view. And then we will talk about the implementation of those process and what are the live challenges that we come across those challenges, what are the different options to overcome those challenges. And then we keep adding on top of it, Anita. Okay, I would like to
okay, fine.
before
These
the
are the
demo.
challenges we faced practically.
Totally understand, Anita. Would like to introduce my colleagues, Rajesh and Sunil. Do you have Sunil? Rajesh.
Sorry, Sunil will be joining us in a bit.
Okay.
I'm really sorry about this. Sunil had a personal emergency which he couldn't avoid. So he's joining us in a couple of minutes time.
No,
Yeah,
issues,
there are
Rajesh.
two Sunils in my waiting room. Should I allow them? Like, are they
Please,
from
please,
Yes,
Acharya?
please,
yes,
please,
please.
please.
Yeah. And over to you, Rajesh. Maybe just give a brief introduction about you. And again, guys, apart from Acharya for Life, I'm also collaborated with a lot of my ecosystem partners. Rajesh and Raghu. Rajesh is the digital marketing manager and head for marketing side of it. And Raghu is the CEO. Both are my school friends. We studied together, and we all kind of collaborated and see how we can help each other. In that process, we try to kind of bring certain solutions together to the startup companies, which can definitely help. Sunil is their CTO. I will hand over to Rajesh for a brief introduction and then take it from there. Rajesh, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Ranjit. And it is exciting to be a part of this event. I want to apologize very deeply. Some confusion with respect to the timings and a little bit of personal emergency, and therefore I was a little delayed. But let us make it up with the with the time that we have as to how much value add we can provide. And Anita, thanks for sharing your specific use case. I think it is a very natural process for a startup to grow from no process to a process flow. And it is also quite a common experience of people who are focused on doing things, right, and getting things done. They focus on doing it rather than following a process. And kind of it is difficult for them to get into a process-oriented mode and so on and so forth. And I really hear you there. And more often than not, this issue is quite common with a lot of people. And I think in this through our session, we may be able to throw some light on how this entire thing can go. To briefly talk about myself, as all of you know, my name is Rajesh. I am associated with Ranjit as a ecosystem partner for several activities, and I currently work with Prakya as their chief marketing officer. I take care of Prakya's marketing activities as well as other digital marketing clients that we have from across the world. I'm a management graduate, and I have worked initially as a teacher and professor in marketing for about 15 years. 10 years ago, I jumped into the corporate world, working in the fields of business development and digital marketing, and have built my career from there onwards. Along with me is Sunil, our chief technology officer, and who takes care of engineering. Sunil, would you like to say hi and introduce a couple of yourself in a couple of lines?
Hi guys. Thanks Rajesh. Thanks Rajesh and Ranjit. So I'm based out of Bangalore. I'm the CTO for Prakya, which is basically an agile project management and productivity workspace solution. Prior to this, I have a couple of years, around 15 to 16 years of software industry experience, where I worked with mostly multinational companies. And also, to begin with, my career was on some sort of a startup, like in the early 2000s, and that's when I got into. After that, I got into an MNC, which was based out in USA, and they had a subsidiary in Bangalore, through which I got to know Raghu, with whom we co-founded Prakya. So Prakya is a company that was established in 2020. So Raghu, we were thinking of what is the dire need, or what is the dire problem that we were kind of thinking of to solve, and that's when we encountered on this space, which is very close to the heart. We ourselves faced this issue, and we embarked this journey of building Prakya. Maybe somewhere down the lane in this meeting, I would like to also show a glimpse of what the platform is, how beneficial it is. We ourselves are using it from many years, and yeah, I'll be more than happy to show it to you. Yeah, Rajesh.
Thanks, Sunil. Thanks, Rajesh, for introduction. And can we do the demo, if you don't mind? So guys, again, we will be showing the tool, which is used for more than project management. Again, Rajesh will be able to explain it better with respect to the value add it brings to you, and try to address some of the challenges that you might be going through, or you want to get matured in those particular processes and challenges. Rajesh, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ranjit. Just give me a second so that I can share my screen.
Sure.
So is it possible for me to share my screen? Do I need to be given a?
I have already given the permission, so you can share the screen now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you all are able to see my screen.
Yep.
Okay. So basically, when we, like Sunil was explaining earlier, we were looking at how a particular set of issues related to, related to projects, and how people deal with their work as a whole is something that we were trying to solve right when we began Prakya. Both Sunil, Raghu, Ranjit, as well as myself have extensive experience in managing projects, both large scale as well as small scale projects. And we were well aware of the challenges that were coming in. And one of the most important aspects that we felt was visibility, right? How teams see what they have to see, and how teams coordinate with each other so that a project can be delivered successfully. Whether it was the waterfall model, which was used earlier, or currently the trend is agile, and a lot of people want to utilize agile methodologies because of the flexibility that is involved, because of the speed at which we can deliver, because of the ability to accommodate evolving customer requests. All these agile methodologies have become more and more popular. And even when we were using agile methodologies, the key aspect there was collaboration and visibility. And when we looked at what we can do to improve the visibility of a team, that is when the ideas for Prakya started coming in, right? Very typically, I mean, if I were to define in one sentence what Prakya does, right? It actually brings people and their work literally onto the same digital page. And we make sure that all the work that you are doing is visible to the teams as and as they need. Say, for example, there may be teams that are working remotely across the globe, or there may be a team that is working in the same place, but they are also looking on they have different roles that people play, right? Some people are taking care of the business side. Some people are taking care of the development of a product or a service. Some people are looking at deliveries and how they are scheduled and so on. Some people are looking at building solutions and solution architecture. All of these people, Prakya believes that they should be looking at the same digital page and looking at the same information, but from their own perspectives, right? So that is what is the core aspect that we try to solve. And therefore, what we have as a tool is a work planning suite where you can plan your work. There is a work execution suite where you can execute whatever your plans are. We have a collaboration suite that brings your people together into one place. And then currently we are focused on building an AI-powered team operating system, which will reduce the cognitive overload that make teams productive, right? So cognitive overload is a specific word that we are trying to use here because it requires a lot of thinking, right? To set up a process, it requires thinking. To follow a process, it requires a little bit of thinking as to how we fit in and so on and so forth. So that process orientation requires people to think. We are looking at how we can reduce the burden of thinking from people and enabling them with a tool that will help them to move their work forward without much effort from their side in terms of thinking, setting up a process, and so on and so forth. So that's the basic problem that we wanted to solve here. Sunil, any comments from your side at this stage?
No, Rajesh, I think we're good. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I'm moving on to the next slide. Like basically, what we see, especially in the startup space, what happens is there are 2-3 things that people would do, right? Number one is like what Anita was saying. When you start off things, you are focused on getting things done or doing things. And you have a small team. And in that small team, you know exactly who does what. And you know how a piece of work can be divided across the group. And focus is on delivery, focus is on doing things rather than on setting up a process. As a result of this, people are more focused on getting things done. And also at the same time, what happens is if a particular tool is solving my problem currently, I would like to take that and use it, right? So irrespective of how the tool connects with others and whether it will bring, I don't want to know, but I want to get my stuff done. So let us say I'm in the process of strategizing or planning. I would bring one tool which will help me in doing that strategy, in helping me say plan my initiatives or in sometimes in resource planning and so on. I bring the tool there and I start working with the tool. Same way, I'm a solution architect and I'm building solutions. I may bring in a small tool, and sometimes many tools are offer free of cost charges for us, which will reduce the burden on capital for initially when we are in the experimental mode, and all startups are pressed for that capital right in the beginning. So we bring in one more tool there and start using it. But as we move forward, what happens, what we have noticed, what happens is that the number of tools keeps on increasing and different teams are using different tools. That is one challenge. Second, the data that we have is spread across all of these tools, right? So strategy data is in one place, architecture is another place, execution wise, what is going on is in another place, planning is going on in another place. And to bring all of these things together, people do promise integration, but sometimes that integrations work and sometimes it doesn't work. And even when it works, there may be changes that happen in the tools from time to time, which will break the integration. So bringing the data and the teams together onto the same page itself becomes a huge challenge. And those challenges we have listed down here in the form of data silos, or there are learning curves, there are communication gaps that come in, there is some integration complexity that comes in, costs increase over a period of time. Some of these tools may start charging us a fee, and we may have to probably look at, and then our data is locked into these tools. And to migrate all of that into another tool and so on is going to be a matter of concern. I want to pause here and know from all of you if some of these are the issues that you are facing, or is there something else that you would want to bring to our notice, which is a specific problem that you might be facing. So I want to pause here for a bit and listen from you guys as to whether we are on the same page here or not.
Yes, I think it's we are on the same page.
Right.
From my
So-
side, it's okay.
Right, Aditya. So do you see there are the misalignment of teams happens? There are some challenges in terms of visibility.
Yeah, there
People
is
are
always communication. Communication is going to be a big challenge.
Right.
Coordination. When we don't have the proper communication, the entire coordination will get affected.
That is true. That is true. Absolutely.
So, Rajesh, I have a question. Can we utilize this same tool for even for the marketing team as well?
Yes, I think that different teams can collaborate. Marketing as well as sales teams can also come onto the same page and work on it. It is possible that you use the same tool for marketing as well, Balaji. So, is
No.
there any specific thing that you are looking for? I mean,
More specific, no, of course, I understand with regard to the project management, right? Because different resources, different stakeholders are sitting at the different countries, different timelines, different time zones. All
Right.
of this, most of this, or maybe addition to this, a lot of issues can come across, which I'm already experienced in the past companies, right?
Sure.
So my question was on the marketing, right? We are into agri space, so because the marketing teams are sitting at different places, right? Different regions, and we don't know like what exactly they're doing. Will it be possible to utilize this tool? That's was the question, like
Yes,
wherein
in terms of creating and managing the work items that need to be managed across, this tool is pretty adaptive for any team. In fact, Prakya's marketing team, we utilize this tool quite often, and we make sure that most of our work is here. But we may not be able to showcase the real-time work currently that is happening. We have some demo data which we can showcase here for the purpose of demonstration. But yes, marketing teams can also be a part of it, and they can coordinate with the engineering teams as well. Like if there are some dependencies from engineering to marketing, those dependencies can also be managed quite adequately here. Sunil, do you want to add something here?
Exactly. So Balaji, for your question, if we can use, basically this is more or less a little agnostic way of handling your work, right? So the marketing or the sales or like any other department, any other within your organization, they have to come here and put in what are the things that they're planning for. Let's say a marketing team, I'm assuming that they have some quarters or like, half yearly plans and things like that, right?
yes, entire year it will get planned well in
Entire year, perfect. So we have a way to strategize that marketing effort, right? And also visualize like how does it align with your business needs? Basically, how does it with an overall organizational strategy, how does your marketing team align? Okay, that is the first thing. And the second thing is what is it you're planning to do can also be visualized here, right? You can see your teams can plan their work. They can say, okay, in what time box, when we can deliver what. And also if there is an interdependency, let's say some of the marketing effect requires some sort of a product launch or anything like that, right? Let's say you have manufacturing or you have softwares to develop or hardware, right? That also can be aligned with those teams to meet your marketing initiatives, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that is possible.
Sunil, so I got your point. So certain events also can be scheduled. What I understand, we can invite all the different stakeholders within the framework.
Yes.
For example,
Yes.
it can be a bank, insurance, right? Or the other
Yes.
stakeholders also can be given an access to the same tool, wherein
Yes.
everyone can see the status of that same page. What
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You
In
can.
addition to that, Balaji, we can also invite vendors and give them limited visibility. What they want to see, they can see from this one. So it is not only a
Noted, Ranjit.
tool for within the organization, but we can invite people from outside the organization as well and give them access-based visibility so that they can see what they want to see, and we can develop that visibility and transparency with our vending team as well.
So sorry to interrupt. Even this has got right from the initial stage of the project management, right? Say example like define, evaluate. At that stage, this has been a breakdown into the pieces like with the capex and OpEx on the budgets as well.
No, but budgets we have not covered yet.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I'll be having a lot of questions. Go ahead.
Please, we'll be more than glad to explain whatever your questions are, Balaji. Let's keep going ahead, and as we keep moving, you can keep asking more questions.
Rajesh, if I may add one point here, right, to
Yeah.
yours and Sunil's point. Balaji, this process can be set from the beginning of the project, and you can track whatever the activities you would like to, and even create a workflow management chain. Say in your world, when you're talking about, you have farmers, you have distributors, you have again your team, right?
Correct.
If you want to have a workflow management that has to be done, you can set up a workflow. If someone has kind of a distributor gets an order, he wants to place the order, which has to automatically come to your team for approval. It can be set up. Those kind of workflows also can be managed with this tool. Rajesh, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, yeah, it can be managed, but let us see. More use cases will come up as we go through the demo. No?
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Ranjit.
No. So going further, to address all of these challenges, as I said, what we do in Prakya is we bring in 4 different types of stakeholders. Currently, what I'm showing for simplicity, I have aggregated these stakeholders into 4 groups. It could be senior leadership teams who are handling business. It could be solution architects who are developing the solutions and who are putting out the solutions outside there. The development teams who are actually doing the coding work or product development work, or who are actually executing the processes of the organization, and the product or program management teams who are accountable for delivery. We connect all these people together, and we connect the dots from strategy to execution, which means to say our work suite is flexible enough to accommodate. If you want to focus only on execution and getting the work done, you can begin from there. But we also have a facility to document your strategy and map your strategy to the work that is actually happening, so that the senior leadership can actually see how the work is progressing with respect to their KPIs, with respect to their business goals that have been set up, and especially how the product is progressing or work is progressing. All those people can, each of these personas can see the same data from their perspective, carry out some analysis like impact analysis, and so on and so forth. So basically, our platform is nothing but a visual platform that becomes a single source of truth for all the user personas. We gather different events and create the organizational intelligence that is needed to provide feedback and feed forwards within the solution. And we are a vertically integrated solution wherein we have both architecture defining tools, collaboration tools, and companies are free to use however they would want to use them. Whichever modules they would want to use, they can use them. Rest of them can be, they can wait till they come to a stage where the module can be accessed. This is built to scale process, and basically we want to see if we can reduce the cognitive overload on teams. You don't have to think much, do A, B, C, D, and you are set with that. And the system automatically generates the required intelligence for us to take care of the further processes. So that is what we have created as a solution here. So basically, these are some screenshots of the product, but I think when we go to the demo, I will show you, I will be in a position to showcase between me and Sunil, we will be in a position to showcase how this entire thing will be. At the same time, so this is the basic way in which just now, I think while answering Balaji's questions, we have looked at it. We can have a company and the vendors and partners of the company which are working together. And each of these companies may have different portfolios or projects that they are trying to execute. Each portfolio may have several further sub-projects which will have features and which will have different work items like user stories to go on. And at the same time, all of these portfolios are delivered through a program. A program is nothing but a delivery cycle where you develop and deploy your products or processes to the client, and each program is managed through some program increments, and we can move in iterations or sprints. If we are familiar with agile terminology, this becomes more and more easier. But even if we are not familiar, all we need to do is go through the steps that are needed to be done, and most of these are automated enough so that it can go through an automated cycle of operations. Sunil, can you add something to it?
Rajesh, one what is that stupid question I would like to ask? Because I have never experienced on the agile. How is different from the project management, right? Which is normal, which is there, and then the agile, the difference.
Yeah, so Balaji. So first of all, the point is, the thing is that what we have done is, I know that a lot of people may not be familiar with agile processes, and that expertise may not be there. However, what we did was we took the best practices from the agile space, specifically safe agile space, and we simplified that process so that in easy steps anybody can follow. If you know how to create work items in a task management tool, you should be ready to use Prakya. So creating tasks, assigning them to different teams, tracking the task as to what is happening. This is quite intuitive, and I think it can be followed by everybody else. However, what happens is, in the background, even though you are using this for managing your tasks currently, this entire process is divided into sprints, increments, and programs. Automatically, it is done, and the process is available for you to use any which way. If you don't want to see the process, or if you are not ready to use those terminology, it is still fine. You can still continue to use the tool. But over a period of time, you will come to realize that, hey, this is a very nice feature. And if I move over to using this feature, my work will become more effective and efficient. So that is how we have built the tool. I think Sunil will also be in a position to add some more information here.
Yeah, surely. So Balaji, fundamentally, I think it is basically how quickly you want to move, right? Let's say if you're working in your organization, let's say you're working in a startup or you own a startup, right? How receptive and quickly you're ready to change the team or are ready for change, external factors and things like that. That is what Agile as a framework gives you, right? So you put your team members in a way and you tell, okay, let's not deliver 100, right? Let's deliver 10 first. If the 10 is working, then we'll go deliver the next 10, right? So to do this kind of a planning, Agile says, okay, you can plan your items, deliver it in short iterations. If you're getting feedback, be receptive to change, and then launch. It's basically you kind of fail fast and you recover much more faster to go to take the next step. So that is what at a fundamental layer Agile is, right? Project management, if you kind of put that umbrella, right, everybody thinks of it like a big piece of work where there are a lot of projects and there's a lot of people managing it, and there's a lot of things like Excel sheets, and you use Slack, or use multiple tools to execute the project. You manage the project. That itself is a big project management, is a big management task, right? But here what we are saying is, you put all those management headaches aside. You just come and define what your project is. You define when you want to deliver this. Let's say if a customer is waiting by Q2 of 24, you plan your activities for the next quarter and you start delivering that in small iterations. Let's say 2 weeks. 2 weeks, you are ready to deliver one part of the feature. The next 2 weeks, something else. And if you have a milestone, if you want to kind of share a very high level showcasing to your prospective customers or your stakeholders, right? You have the capability. And if there's significant feedback coming in, what you do is you immediately go tweak your next delivery so that you incorporate those changes also, right? So you see the difference between a project management versus an agile way of doing things, right? Am I clear, Balaji?
Yes, because I worked on the project management. Agile,
Yeah.
I got to know like specific to the milestone or the.
Yes. So agile is basically you work in a very super agile way, where for you the goal would be to meet the customer's success, right? I mean, customer, I mean, generally that's what they say. Instead of waiting for like 6 months and then giving them something which they didn't really want, or they didn't anticipate, or they didn't expect, right? Instead of that, like, you engage with them in a much earlier stage, so that they have a very good idea of what is coming in, and you also are ready to deliver those changes on the fly, rather than taking things in, like, at the end of 6 months, or like, a typical project management or a
This
waterfall.
Sunil, don't you feel that this will increase the cost in the business change management?
No, so
Balaji,
I will tell you one classical example. Let's say, what
Sunil, sorry to interrupt you here. I
Go ahead.
think as we explain the tool, right, some of these questions will definitely be addressed. My
Go ahead,
suggestion,
Rajesh.
yeah, my suggestion here is let's start seeing the tool, and
Yeah.
then these questions related to cost, or whether philosophically this will increase, ideologically this will increase certain things, decrease certain things. We will look at them towards the end if we can, if that is okay with you, Balaji.
Correct, Rajesh. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so without much ado, I wanted to directly jump into the demo. I think what we can do is, we have usually a flow, but Sunil, in this case, let us begin showcasing the team room from for looking at how the work is
Sunil
allocated.
and Rajesh, go slowly this slide. This is very important.
No, what I'm saying, no, Balaji, we will directly jump into the demo rather than going through the theory behind all of these things. I can come back to this slide later on, and I can summarize what we have done. And at that time, any questions we can take it and answer.
Okay.
so Balaji and the others, right? In case today, if we are not able to cover everything, we are happy to have one more session to continue the discussion, and then start giving full details. So don't worry about it.
Very interesting, Ranjit, today's topic, because it's very crucial for all the founders should know this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you. So Sunil, will you be in a position to share your screen and take the demo forward?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I think Sunil should also be given the co-host opportunity so that he can.
Mirin, can you
he-
please give?
No, he can.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
he is.
I'm able to. I'm just
Sure.
it's asking me to rejoin because my system said it didn't have permissions for sharing. I'll just rejoin in a second back. Okay, I have
Sure.
to restart Zoom for this, is what it says.
Sure, no issues.
No
So
issues.
what we can do, Rajesh, till Sunil rejoins, we can go back to the slide and start discussing about the key points there.
Yes, 1 second, Ranjit. I shall do that.
So Balaji, to your earlier question, right, the difference between project management and a Scrum, right? Agile. Agile is the one where it will help you to break down your features in a granular level, where you are spending less amount of time to create some feature and then getting a validation from the market. It can be client or it can be end user. You will get a validation of that particular feature. And if you need to do any corrections, course correction, you will be able to do it immediately rather than waiting for 3 months or 6 months or in 1 year time. So that's the at least simple way, if I can put across the difference between a project management and how, if you want to integrate agile with that.
Yeah, so I will also probably take a specific example of evolving requirements. What happens, typically, Ranjit, Balaji, and others, right? When we begin a discussion on, say, digital marketing, customers come with some idea, okay, this is what digital marketing is. Whereas there is a lot other things which they might not have seen. So once we start working with the client, usually what happens is they come up with ideas. Hey, can we do this also? Can we do that also? Hey, this is more important for us than what we initially came up with, and so on and so forth. Which means to say their requirement of marketing or even development, product wise also, people come with I want 10 mobile screens and this is what I want. And as we begin working with them, they will start realizing, oh, this is not what exactly it is. There is something else also we want, There are two aspects of this particular evolving requirements that happen. One is the scope increase and whether the client will be in a position to take the cost of increased scope. Second one is, can we accommodate what changes they are asking in a faster timeline? Because nobody is going to wait for longer durations to deliver more and more features. So how much can we accommodate? How much can we push? So that planning is very critical. And the faster we are able to do that kind of planning, the faster we are able to incorporate the feedback, the better for us. So what we do here is we begin with a strategy. We map out the initiatives and objectives and so on with the strategy. Then we break down that strategy. To reach this strategy, these are the things that I need to do. And to reach to manage those projects or portfolios effectively, we create work items that need to be done. As the work items keep getting delivered, there will be more work that will come in. We will determine whether what is the scope of that work, whether we can accommodate, how quickly we can do, and again look at the entire thing. So for this to happen in a very smooth way, there are 4 or 5 different angles that people should look at. So business will look at the cost of doing this, like Balaji asked, what will be the cost of doing this? The release guy who is actually capable requiring the delivery to happen, he will be looking at how can I accommodate within the timelines that I have been given. The team who is executing that will start looking at, okay, how much more work or how much less work this will involve and how can I accommodate that. However, the criticality is they should be looking at all of them should be looking at the same data. If they are looking at the same data points, the work progress is available for everybody to see within this entire system without going back and forth within different tools. Then it becomes easier for collaboration to happen and faster for development effort to take place, faster for delivery to happen. So that is the criticality of the entire agile methodology. What we have tried to do through the demo currently through our product is how much can we reduce this complexity and make sure that the system is simple to use and effective to be used by organization of any size. So if I am a team of 4 or 5 people, I should still be able to use this. If I'm a team of 100, 200 people, I should still be able to use. So that scalability is what we have brought in. I think if Sunil is ready, we should be directly jumping into the demo.
Yeah, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah, I'm stopping my share.
Okay. My screen is visible, right?
Yeah.
Yep, we can.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in with my account, and as soon as I log in, so just to understand, like, what the scope of this demo, all of you attending, like, or like, you people manage both the technical and the business side of things also, right? So I can cover, like, a wide angle here, correct? Can I do that way?
Yeah, you can. Sorry.
Okay, good. So as soon as we log in, right? So the first thing that we get to see is basically, one is your, like, this is, so we, within Prakya ourselves, like, we manage all our work with the platform itself, with our own platform, and we do all our work and we do all our planning, strategizing, everything within this. And what we're doing is this, the product that we're talking about, what I'm demoing is called as Prakya 360, which is basically our one of the portfolio of business. Like, one line of business is Prakya 360, wherein we put what are the things that should go into the platform, how do we plan this work, how do we manage the marketing effort, everything here. Okay, so to begin with, at a very high level, let's say any business in these days have some sort of high level strategy. It starts off with this thing wherein you come and discuss with your team, with your executive team or with your team leads or anybody, right? What is that we are going to do, strategize, what is that we need to do, right? So in our case, what we did was we said, okay, one of our objective is to be one of the best work management platform by 2024. And this was when we introduced this functionality of strategizing all your business needs. We started off in the year 2020, right? And if you see, our goals are our objectives and the initiatives are stretching all the way up to 2024, right? If you see, Prakya's mobile application is what we want to build. So that is one of the initiatives which we have taken up. And if I expand this initiative, it also says what are the roadmaps. So basically this concept and design, we started off from August and it stretched almost up to September. Like that, various roadmap items have been discussed here, and we put this initiative in this place, right? Now this is giving us a visibility as to, with respect to the strategy, right? With respect to my business, what is that I'm doing at this moment? It's Prakya mobile application, right? If I kind of toggle this view, it gives me a complete view starting from the year of, like, when we started planning and what is their stages of completion, right? So if you see, we have various strategies and objectives which says, okay, what is the stages of completion? If you see, if this customer request and enhancements, we could do only 33%. The rest are still in progress, right? And you see, this has not even started, right? MHC requirements, sorry, bug fixes and UI enhancements. So these are one of the so one, we discuss what is a strategy. We want to build a mobile application and plus others, right? Now, how does all this get connected to your actual work, right? So we spoke about Prakya mobile application being built, right? How does this get really connected with our work is what we are going to see, right? If you see, the concept and design is ready, we need to do some app store submission, which is not yet ready, but we are still ahead of time, right? We still have time for that. That's the reason they are not ready. So as a business owner, what this is giving me is, it says, okay, this initiative of mine, out of which it says 50% has been completed, and out of which two roadmaps are 100% complete, but the rest of the roadmaps are not yet ready, which means I need to focus on these two things to get things done. Now, how does this get initiated? This gets manifested is, if I go to my portfolio and if I go to my projects, right? This is the place you see the Prakya mobile apps, right? Which is connected back. I won't be showing how we connect it, how we configure a project there, because that requires a separate session, a separate demo, where we have to peacefully sit and look at the various user interface options. How does it get connected? So for now, for the sake of this demo, I'll quickly jump onto this project and I know what are the features that we are building, right? So these are the features that we are building. This is what we need to do. And these are the teams that I have configured who will be working on this, right? If you see, I have a backend team and I have a front-end team. So backend team, it is just one person. And in the front-end team, there are 3 people who are engaged with this. So with this, what's happening is, I created a project. I started off with building some high-level features, and I also started delivering, right? So this is your work that you need to do. Now, how and when I deliver will be something that is discussed with the teams, right? You go to your teams, and Balaji, for your question, how do we manage a marketing work, right? So see, the marketing work is delivered by a different program, right? But in our case, since we are doing a software development work, I focus on the engineering side using the Prakya's engineering program. So if I go to my engineering program, right?
Sunil.
Yeah.
So just before Sunil progresses others, how you have to understand the project and a portfolio and a program is like this. A project or a portfolio is a set of projects that we do, and each project will have certain features which Sunil has just shown to you. Like these features we are building, and so that's the definition of a project. A program is a timeline of delivery. Like a
Right.
program, you have to think of it as a timeline of delivery. So a program manager, if I'm saying marketing program, it means how marketing is getting delivered.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'll just quickly
Timeline
explain.
of delivery is called a program.
Correct. So so Balaji, in your case, right? So see, I have a staging environment, and ironically, we had kind of like, we're working on something very distinct here. So we had created a portfolio called as Indo Green Agri-Tech. Okay. When we are testing our platform, which basically delivers some sort of agri-tech solutions. We were kind of like, creating a pseudo portfolio, and like, we're trying to figure out with our AI, how does this portfolio evolve, right? So what we did is, we created something called as a sustainable eco farming as one of the project under this portfolio. Okay. Sustainable eco farming, we decided, okay, this is going to be the project, and some of the features that this project will have is, which we didn't know. So what we did is, we said, okay, let's figure out what are the things that is needed for sustainable eco farming. You see that it says, okay, the first thing that you may need is probably an irrigation system, right? And also our AI generative AI capability is told, okay, this is what you need to do probably for this feature. So I can say, and eventually when I start building my features for this project, right, or features or something that is needed. So let's say I'm going to refresh this. You see, it gave me a little more elaborate eco-friendly irrigation systems, right? First one, it gave sustainable, then it gave me this, right? With an overall picture of what is that you can think of to build this. So we were trying to experiment this here. I have a agri-tech business. I have a project under that called as sustainable eco-farming. So under that agri-tech, I'm going to build whatever is sustainable and eco-farming, and I'm going to promote that. And under that, these are the high-level deliverables for the customer, or like, any B2B, or like whatever, any other business sources, right? These are the things that we will start working on. Am I clear so far?
No, I got it. I got
Okay.
it, Sunil as well as Rajat. So Indo Agritech is your project management. That's a company.
Yes.
That sustainable is your program.
It's one of your project. Okay. Now, how we deliver that project is what Rajesh said. We use something called as a program. Okay. So if you look at a program is nothing but a timeline of how you want to deliver all those features, like, as a part of your sustainable farming, right? First, you'll come up with some irrigation systems, then you'll come up with some manufacturing system, which is again sustainable, right? So when and how you deliver will be defined at a very high level. Okay. So you say what is called as, I'll create something called as an increment. Under that, I will create some few time boxes. What are the time boxes? I'll say, okay, starting from 10th of 2020 to 2020. I'm sorry, I'll have to go to the latest one. Sorry, this is my collab. Okay, so if you go to our programs, right, this will give you an idea how we deliver that.
So Agile will be using a lot of PERT method, right?
What method?
PERT.
PERT is only one part of the entire project management system, but this, what we are seeing currently, Balaji, is how we are going to time box the features, right? We time box it in terms of what are known as program increments, and further each increment is time boxed into sprints. Time boxing means fixing a particular time frame for that. So Agile uses what are known as sprints and increments, and that is what we are creating. In case you are directly jumping into creating your work items and doing this, automatically there will be a backend, all the time boxing will happen, and it will keep getting added on or incremented based on certain default values. But you can always come back and tweak that here in this particular interface.
So my understanding is the phases of the management, right? Like define, evaluation, design. That's the time what you're trying to block.
Correct. In the traditional project management cycle, I think these can be thought of as phase gates or things like that.
Tool is really good. I guess in 2 sessions, Ranjit, I doubt actually.
No, to actually customize it to your use case, no, Balaji.
Utilizing, as we utilize, we'll get to know.
Exactly. To customize to your specific use case, I think we can get on to a full-fledged demo session as to how you can use it. If you, I mean, we do a lot of POCs for people. So if you want to do a POC, we can actually set up some environment for you. And
yes, Rajesh and Sunil and Ranjit will discuss.
Sure.
That's a whole intent, guys. Again, for the entire team here, Sahil, Mehul, Anita, Anush, for everyone, right? If you are interested in terms of doing a POC for your respective company and whatever you want to do, absolutely reach out to us. We'll be happy to kind of schedule a separate time and set things up for you guys.
Thank you, Ranjit.
So in the interest of time, guys, I just wanted to check, Marin, are we good? We should wrap it up, or we can continue for some more time, or how's that? What are the guidelines, Marin?
I mean, if everybody are happy, probably another 15 minutes can be extended, I feel, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I think we need to extend it. So only we'll be able to complete understanding.
No, this Anita, like this should be Ranjit. I mean, we are happy actually they're conducting. This should be an ongoing process, what I understand. See, until your project comes to BAU, right? That's wherein like your normal operation starts. Since we are at the stage of like different phases, I feel it should be ongoing. This what Ranjit, what do you say? Like, because
Let's say, yeah, absolutely, Balaji. That's why we started this particular series, and we want to test how you guys will react for this
it is
and how
it is
you
required,
guys
Ranjit.
act.
It's good that you
Absolutely.
brought this. It's required.
Absolutely. We are happy to kind of and keep continuing these sessions and share. Along with that, you can start leveraging the tool and start practicing it as
Correct.
well. So
Correct.
again, the best part is up to 10 users, Prakya do not charge anything. So definitely, if you are in that stage, start leveraging, and once you see the benefits, then you can convert into the license mode at a later point of time. But if you want to start, you can definitely start doing the POCs. We'll
Right.
pause it here again for the next 15 minutes. I'm assuming everyone is fine. Anita and Balaji confirm. So let's continue for another 15 minutes and cover as much as possible in the demo, Sunil.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will schedule another follow-up meeting to cover more features and how we can
Sure.
take things forward.
Yeah. So, fine. So what I'll do is I'll kind of try to quickly scrape through the most important ingredients of this platform. Like, what is the real benefit, right? I'll quickly showcase that, and maybe the next 5 minutes we can discuss and see what are the next steps, or like, how if we have to kind of do some handholding, we'll be more than happy to do that. You can onboard your projects, you can start working around it. We can help you to plan your sprints for one, like 3 months or 2 months, or based on your understanding. We have to spend some time. So coming to the same example of, like, we said, okay, we have some sustainable eco farming agricultural project that we have running, right? So let's say we also said by September 29 to October 26, we have some list of items to do, right? And Balaji, you as a admin, or you as a lead of this project, right? You are going and saying, how is that my team is doing this, right? So what happens is we have a very nice piece called as the team room here on the left navigation bar. What happens is, this is basically where your actual team, like, the people who are at the forefront of things, right? There will be who will be kind of executing and delivering, right? This is where that piece comes to life, right? The rest of it is mostly you plan, you say what you want to do and when you want to do, and you put it there. But this is actually, like, the heart of things, like, where really things happen, how things are built, right? This is where your team, it's at the team room that things happen. Now again, when we say when things are happening, if all is well, what happens is, you can see traditionally in most of the task management or the project management tools is, you will say, okay, what are my tasks, or what are my stories that is being developed? Okay, this is what it is. But it does not give you a picture as to whether this is on time, if this has made so much progress, let's say from your reviewing phase or from your backlog, if it is reached to an accepted stage, right? What are the things that is done? Is it like 100% done? Does it move to a right hand side? Does it mean like everything is done? We don't know that, right? So what we did is, we came up with a nice functionality. So this is again, like, my staging data, guys. So maybe there will be some data discrepancy and things like that. But in an actual scenario, this will be completely populated. It will tell me how many stories are done, what is the progress of each of it, if there are any tickets or if there are any issues, what is the progress of it. And if I am a lead, right, I can say what is my team's overview, right? And under my team's overview, I get two very important items that where I feel if there's a need, no, I need to step it. Okay. And it says there are immediate attention to items, 31 items that I need to pay attention to. And the second thing is, also we come up with something called as a member workload. How how does your team stand in the next few days, or like, what is that for this time box, right? Between September to 26th of October, what are the things that your team members are doing, or what is their workload? So if you look at this, right, you see these are my team members, and at a very high level, it says these people, you see this ready for assignments, right? These are the people who can take up some work within this timeline. But if you look at the others, it says user stories and bugs. This person is tentatively will be completed by October 7th, and the task by, like, we also have something called as a task level work addition, which says, okay, by September 29th, this person will be ready, meaning his deadline is around this time. So this gives you an idea as to what is my member's workload, and is that the reason the urgent attention is coming up here. But if you look at the urgent attention, what's happening here is, It says, okay, these are the stories, these are the tasks. You see, this task does not have an estimate added, which means our system is not able to identify whether is this task important, should we notify it to you. So one level is we have a notified, but as a part of the notification, the system says there's no estimate. So should this be deprioritized, or should there be any task, like, I can right click and see what are the tasks. You see, it says in progress, but it does not say how many hours of work approximately the team member has to spend. So that is the reason that it is showing up. And if you see, look at the rest of the items, right? It says, okay, this story has some task, but it says there are no tasks added. And it says all or few tasks not closed, right? So this gives you an idea, not only to plan your work, to execute it, but also to see whether any shepherding is needed. Do you need to work with your team more closely to ensure this is done, or should you, based on your workload, should you kind of move out some of the items to the next sprint because I cannot deliver it within this time? This is the team room. Okay. And of course, it also gives you a lot of other insights. It says you how many business days are there, how many work days are remaining, how many people are actively contributing, and what is my velocity. Okay, this is something which we'll discuss in a very detailed demo. And it also says a suggestion. It says the current team velocity is below the ideal one and the sprint has not been closed. Some suggestions, it keeps evolving over a period of time. So this is one of the most hot piece of the platform, where apart from planning, if you look at the strategy, right, apart from planning, right, it also tells you, it acts as a guardrail. Can you really meet your deadline? You promised so many items, will you be able to reach there? Is what the team room as a functionality will give you, right? And there are a lot of other functionalities here, like, you can look at a different set of, like, how these things are tasked, how these things are delivered, whether it's accepted, deployed. There are multiple views. You can have goals for the sprint. It says, okay, what are the goals that you want to achieve and which are the stories that meet these goals. It gives you a list of metrics. Of course, this is staging data, so our metrics may not be correct, but at a high level, these are the metrics in real time. What are the things that it will finish? Footprints and all those things are, like, a lot of important information where you can go to a specific timeline and look at data. Say, for example, I'll just quickly go through the team room data for you see the footprints, right? So we kind of sort by time and say, okay, what happened? It says, okay, new sprint was added, a new feature was added. It also says what are the level of items that got added, what is the status. It says it is defined. Then after defined, basically it will kind of categorize, and you also have the ability to pull based on your timeline. Let's say one of your team member, or you were not available for, let's say, these 2 weeks, and you want to look at the list of activities, right? You can just come here and quickly look at it. So this is a gold mine of information where people say, oh, I was not available in that meeting, or I don't know when it got moved, right? So we don't believe in spamming or flooding people with a lot of emails, because all these things, like, end of the day, this is what, like, other systems are doing. We have it in-house. You don't have to go. Generally people say, oh, I didn't carry my phone, I don't have my email, or I don't have Slack installed. Like, there'll be a lot of things that people are saying, but you come here, all this information is kind of bundled into a single view, so that your team doesn't have to go to multiple tools. Of course, occasionally emails and things they have to see, but with respect to project, with respect to execution and delivery, everything will be here. I would want to pause here and see if people want to ask any questions, or if there's anything that I need to cover in the next few minutes.
I would like to see, this is like a project management. Apart from that, we are looking for something service related. So end of the service, we need to bill it. So there we face a problem, like for example, for a GST filing, the normal rate start from 600 to 1000, 1500. It varies depending upon the bill number of bills.
Okay.
Minimum charge is 600 rupees. So from the marketing team, they will say that your rate can be from 600 to 1,500. That is the initial conversation to the customer. But when we actually start working on it, they will have 10 bills or 20 bills. So 600 won't be the charges. It might be 750.
Okay.
From the accounts department, they will say that 750 is your current billing. You need to pay 750 rupees. But when it actually comes, when they send the data, we will see that they need to pay some tax amount also.
Okay.
For example, 25,000. So every stage there is a change in amount. So but the account section is entirely different and the GST filing section is entirely different.
Okay.
So do we have any communication for that in case in terms of billing, and is it possible to add that thing here also? So that the communication happens smoothly. For example, in the same case, now at the end they have to collect 25,000 plus 750, which is which is entirely different from the first one we had communicated.
Got it. So, I'm sorry, like, who was talking? I didn't see the name.
Anita.
Okay. Anita, so primarily what we're trying to solve here is, right, we have two teams, right? And they are linked. I mean, their work is linked in a way because by nature,
So
like,
there are three teams. There is a marketing team, there is a operation team, and there is an accounts team. So 3 teams are there.
No problem. So what we do here is, right, we say under, let's say, one of your line of business or LOB, right, you will tell what are your teams, right? So in this case, so if you say we have given back and front end team, assume these are those teams of yours, right? Which means these are the teams, and if you click on that, right, it will say who are the people who are working on these teams, who are a part of these teams. Okay. These 3 teams are a part of this line of business, meaning like you have a particular
GST.
business,
For example, GST
right?
filing.
So these 3 people will be a part of your team, and whenever they're working on something, right, primarily let's say there is some high I would like to say, okay, can you give me an example of, like, what would that task be for the customer? Would it be customer billing or something like that? Let's say customer ABC billing, is that right?
Yeah, almost.
Okay, let's say billing with taxes. Okay, so what you do is you will primarily assign it to one team, but here you can give multiple tasks to the other teams. Okay, one will be the owner. Okay, one will be that owner. Probably it could be, I think it would be the accounting team who will finally deliver that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say this is the accounting team, and you'll tell who's the owner and whom is it assigned to. Within accounting team, who looks at a bigger picture and who is that person who has to deliver this ABC billing with taxes, right? Once this is identified, we go ahead and create all the tasks. Let's say for sales team, they have some certain things, and all these task completion will give you an idea. Plus, we also give a utility for you to discuss. You said you wanted to have the free flowing communication, right? You can say, let's say, so you can say, let's say, as a part of this, okay, discussed with the customer, right? Customer for, let's say for some amount. Okay, this will get posted. Okay, and it will show my name, right? Once it sees my name, it also tells, like, what team I belong to, right? Your other teams can come and start commenting on this, which means this history is maintained, and finally a list of comments will let you, this owner, to look at it and say, okay, we agreed on this, right? We'll tell, okay, we agree on this. This will get recorded, and finally when all your tasks get closed, right, you know what is going out as a part of this piece, right?
Okay.
As a part of your task, all the tasks got closed, all cross teams, right? All the marketing team had some work. You see, it says, okay, what is my acceptance criteria? The bill should include the correct amount. The bill should be clearly state what it is, and the final bill. So these things you can edit and say, this is what I'm going to accept. This owner, right? The owner of this task will say, this is my acceptance. If you guys are done with this, then I would say customer ABC billing with taxes is completed. It is accepted. So
Okay.
everybody will come and look at this acceptance criteria. We can add more points, okay, based on your needs, based on what it is, and it is the responsibility of this assignee to ensure that all this is met, and he says, okay, this is done. Okay, in this case, both assignee and owner are the same, but we can change it.
Okay, understood.
Okay, yeah, and by linking all these, right, it will say, okay, so many tasks are there, it is done, and this is something very specific to software teams, so you can ignore this. But your comments, right, you have an history of what happened, why did we build this customer so and so. If somebody is not done their task, right, it will show up here in your, if your admin goes and sees, no, it will come up here. Oh, these tasks are not closed for that. And when you click on that task, right?
Okay.
Oh, this only membership work, member overload is coming. Okay, let's say, for example, if I'm looking at this, no, see under that story, right? Let's say, see under the story, this task is incomplete. Okay, so we follow. So this story doesn't have any task, so it means the next story has this task. This story has these 3 tasks. So somebody looking at this picture, no, remember when Rajesh said, like, initially when you open, everybody looks at the same picture, right? The data is evidently telling you this story, right? All or few tasks not closed, right? So now when you go and look at that billing problem, or that, you'll know, okay, accounting team is pending or marketing team is pending, right? Their tasks are not completed. It is very much evident for you. And when you click on this, it will tell, okay, what are the tasks? These tasks are in progress, this is done, these 3 are pending, this is in progress, this is not done. And if I want to look for more detailed discussions, we can look at the comments. Or if you want to look at the acceptance criteria, if this acceptance criteria was entered, it will be visible here.
Okay. Is it
Okay,
customized?
and it's a very nice use case.
Is it customized? Are we able to customize it according to our requirement?
We are coming up with the functionality. I'm assuming, like, you know, this thing, right? This terminologies you want to customize.
Yes,
correct?
yes, especially the
Yeah.
terminology. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just discussed that today. It is in our. We will be releasing it in the next next 1 or 2 weeks.
I think this
Anita.
is more related to a software thing, and
Yes, I agree.
So,
for me and Balaji, the team and everything might be entirely different.
correct.
Exactly. You see this, right? See, we just created it today when I finished my discussion with the team, right? This was this
Okay.
definitions, right? Yes, we have it in the pipeline. We heard you. We'll give it soon.
So, Sunil, I have another stupid question. Last question. Okay.
No
Can
worries,
we
go ahead.
also capture the resource cost, both the technology as well as the business resource cost, once we are utilizing the marketing or even for development of the products, right? Software products. And who's deciding the timelines? Like, when 10 minutes back you went through, right? The various tasks. Who's deciding the timelines, right? The task. Because it said, right, the certain resources are free. Because see, we calculate the resource cost, right? Say certain skilled resources, software developers, right? Analyst, a developer with certain experience and all those things. They
Got
have
it.
rate, correct? And
Got
also
it.
they'll be working minimum like 160 hours in a month, right?
Got
So
it,
how
yeah.
is that task? The FT is what I want to try to capture out of this.
Okay,
Total.
so we go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. So that's
Okay, so we have, as I said, see, now you said who will decide how much of time, right? It is the person who, so if you click on, like, you know, I said there is one owner and one assignee, right? So typically what you see is, one second, which was the one which I opened? Let's say this one. You see one owner and assignee, right? So basically you have a team, you will have some sort of a person who's delegated as a lead or as an admin or as a master of the team, right? So they would work with the team, right, and say, okay, how much of time would you in how we follow is, I know I have to build this feature, right? I know I have to build this feature. I just defined it. My team would go ahead and break it down into smaller pieces of delivery items. Okay, they will go create some user stories, they would create some tasks, and then Sunil, for this feature, I would need, let's say, 3-4 days of time. This much amount of backend work is there, this much amount of prototyping work is there, this much amount. So all those things we will discuss, and then we'll assign it to the sprint timeline. Okay, at a high level, I said I need this. My team will go and decide, okay, if I need to deliver this, what is that we need to deliver? What is that we need to do? So the team will come up with those ideas. We kind of discuss, we debate, and we kind of come up with a agreeable timeline. And we say, okay, we'll go start delivering these because these are the priority items. Okay, point number one. Is that fine, Balaji?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Because
Okay.
somebody should be there, right? Some manager or
Yeah.
supervisor who knows exactly, maybe if it is taking 30 minutes or 40 minutes, depending upon his skill set, and the inputs are available on time, right? Whatever the
Exactly.
inputs are required for him to complete the task.
Exactly. Right.
Because why I asked this question was to arrive the FTEs and also to the budget, right? If there is a change in scope, right, it's going to impact the cost.
Right.
And
correct.
if the budgets can be linked to this is my question. Like, and can we classify this into capex and opex based on the phases?
So we haven't really tied like the
Budgets
budgeting
yet.
part, as I said.
Yeah.
Okay, but we have, see, end of the day,
Do
we
you
can
have the
do that.
financials,
Okay.
right? Because definitely you'll be having the budgets, right? You'll be having the budgets, and then you'll be having
Correct.
the
So
actuals which is coming through each month or week wise.
yes, so one thing is we know how much the team is engaged, or like what is the project that they're working on. Okay, so if you look at this resource planning utility here, right? So what we did is, as a part of this project, we have these three things you can ignore for now, but we have something called as effort estimation. Then we have resource planning. Resource planning gives me a holistic view of all my team members for this project, what is the best match, and if they're available to take on some work. Okay, you see what I'm saying, no? So this data is real time. It is pulled from all the projects. What are the people who are working on? Let's say, for example, I want to know what is Abir. Sorry, 1 second.
So the blue ticks they are available, it says.
It says available, but it says he's not a part of. It says it's a part of 2 projects, and which are the sprints that he's worked on or he's working on. What are his skills? Okay, and if you see, the skills are not yet been updated. So you wanted to know people who are ready to take on, but we also go one level more deeper, and we say, okay, if your user has this, if he's listed his skill sets, no, we can also say, based on your skill sets, what is the best person we can select him. Say, for example,
Okay, I'll put it
I am a
across,
high
Sunil, in
resource,
this
but
way.
I
How
don't
to
have that
identify?
skill.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Sorry to cut through your communication. How to identify which resources is not working?
So basically, in this case, now what we have done, so I told you there are some tasks which are assigned to team members and things like that, right? We also need to assign those tasks to a timeline. For your question, right?
Correct.
We will know if you look
Because
at
each
this,
and every
right?
process will have the timelines, correct?
Yes, exactly. So if you go here, right, and if I go to my planning board,
Balaji, I think the task owner can define the task
exactly.
in our
So
case mostly.
yeah. So if you look at this,
Right.
Balaji, see, I've created a sprint hardening starting today. Okay, and my team is deciding on which stories and things like that. Like we can put it to this timeline, and they can start working on this. You see this? These are the things that are ready. These are the things that are planned. Remember, I told you there is some sort of a planning element. Based on the plan only, those things will come up. It will come up here. Okay. And based on this allocated work is what we say, okay, these people are free, these people are not free, or they're kind of potentially available in the next few days or whatever.
Good actually.
Yeah. So
how you're giving this actually software as a SaaS, right?
it is SaaS, yes.
So do you have the resources also, one who can, operates this on behalf of the companies? Because see, generally the startup, right? I don't think so resources will be familiarized how to utilize this tool. Like
Yes,
how
yes,
you
yes.
are utilizing,
Yes, yes.
navigating,
See,
right? Switching from one.
Yeah, so say for example, what we are doing, no, Sales Drive is one of our customer. Good Green is also one of our customer. So what they've done, they've invited me to their LOB, basically their portfolios.
Line of business.
So so I can go ahead and look at what is happening in Good Green. Okay, I can look at their programs. I can go look at their projects, right? And I can also see what are the things that they're doing. So I can come here based on my permissions, my roles and permissions, whatever the admin has given me, right? I can set up for them. I can go create a sprint. I can tell, okay, you know what, this is how you can do. These are your projects and things like that. Once they feel they're sufficiently acquainted with the platform, they can remove me from the account. I will just have no access to that. They can take it forward.
Okay.
You
So
got it, no?
budget is not what is that linked to
No,
this,
we
right?
don't have
Because
budget.
budget
No,
is
no, no.
required right from day one to track, right? This is the money what we have, and we are deploying the resources, right? And we see the progress.
Got it. So yeah, I mean, I think we I think you would be the very first person who asked us for budgeting. So we'll have to discuss in little more in detail with you, Balaji. What are the
Yes,
specific requirements you
we
have,
need
and
to
then we
connect.
can,
Yeah, I Ranjit,
yeah,
we need to connect.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So because we have see, this gives us an idea who is available, or at least like we know people who are ready, right? And if you want to kind of build your skill set
Yeah.
for the teams, right, you can also do that. And budgeting is a way to connect all these resources based on their roles or skills, whatever is
Correct.
needed.
Yeah, if we are able to incorporate that also there, we don't need to look into any other tools for that.
Yeah, right.
Are we able to align with the budgeting at the end? All this can be cross-checked.
Sure, definitely.
Sure, we can look at that. We can look at it.
Hi team. I guess we'll have to wind up because I see a lot of comments that are coming up that they have meetings scheduled for 11:30. So maybe if I can connect you guys, whoever wants to get connected, I'll connect you guys if that's okay.
Sure,
And-
Navin. That works. And like again, based on the interest of the group, we can have one more session to complete it and maybe cover a couple of more points from a leadership skills point of view and single source of truth for learning management system as well. So please check with the team. Another convenient time we can complete this demo and also add a couple of topics onto that.
Sure, we can do that. I'll check with the team and let you guys know.
Sure. Once again, thanks a lot, everyone who is present. Gajendra Jain, Anush Gupta, Sahel, Balaji, Anita, I think the guys who dropped off, Mehul and Wilson. Thank you very much for attending and hope these sessions are useful. And based on your interest, we would like to continue to contribute in term if we can help you there.
So
Thank you.
Ranjit, it has to be continuous. What I strongly feel, at least once in a month, it has to be
Absolutely.
continuous sessions.
Absolutely, Balaji. We will definitely consider that, and we'll work with Merul, and then we'll schedule the sessions accordingly.
Thank you,
Can you
Ranjit.
please share the link where we can start with, as we said, there is a trial version where up to 10 users it is possible. Can you
Yes,
please share the details?
So Anita, definitely, I think instead of just sharing the details, what we can do is we can connect and we can onboard you guys so that you are familiar with the entire system and tools. Will that work?
Okay, understand.
Okay, I'll work with Marin and schedule a session between you and the folks who can help you with the POC so you can get onboarded. Does that sound
Okay,
good?
understand. Yes, that sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, everyone. Rajesh
Thanks
and
a
Sunil,
lot.
thanks a lot for your time for giving the demo.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ranjit,
you,
Sunil,
Rajesh
and
and
Rajesh. Excellent tool. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks a
Balaji.
lot.
Thank you,
We're
Ranjit.
looking forward for you to join. Okay.
Yes, of course, yes. Of course.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
guys. Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.